Hi everyone, and welcome to the first edition of Where Do You Get Your Protein TV? I should say to the first English edition of Where Do You Get Your Protein TV, because I started the series 2 years ago with German videos, and then I realized that a lot of people from the community are not based in Germany actually, and did not understand the language. So I then decided to transfer the whole thing into English. So it took me 2 years, but now it's done, and I'm going to start the series right now in English language so everyone can understand what I'm talking about. So, okay, what we are basically going to do is I'm going to have short videos, and in every one of those videos I'm going to answer one specific question about vegan nutrition. And in today's video, I want to take the mother of all questions about vegan nutrition. Where do you get your protein? Okay, so this is basically the classic question, and it's also the title of the series because it is the most frequent question when you tell someone that you're vegan and they're like completely okay, so you're only eating grass, lettuce, and greens. So where do you get your protein? And that's pretty much the whole misconception that leads to the question actually. Because when people hear that you are vegan, they think of green stuff. They think of like leaves and stuff and grass. So they think, okay, if you eat those kinds of foods the whole day, you get a lot of water because those foods are like 90% water, and you're taking big amounts of volume, but it should pretty much be impossible to get your protein. And that's the misconception, because people forget that there are things like legumes or like cereals and or nuts. So those kinds of foods are pretty rich in calories and also rich in protein. And if you eat a lot of those foods, it's absolutely no problem to get your calories and also to get enough protein to build muscle strength and so on. And that's pretty much what I do. So to get a little bit more specific, let's just name a few of those sources. So group number one is the legumes. So some examples for legumes would be lentils, peas, beans, chickpeas, soy, or peanuts. Peanuts are legumes. Then other protein sources that belong to the family of cereals would be wheat or rye or oats or corn and rice. And now comes something special, which I try to incorporate into my diet. What I try to do is always combine one source of one of those categories. So if I eat a meal, I try to always combine one source of legumes, one protein source, and one protein source out of the cereals. Now, why am I doing this? The reason is the amino acids that are contained, that the sources contain, they are not perfectly balanced. So if you take a legume source, you don't have a perfectly balanced profile of amino acids to get your body all the building blocks that it needs to build strength and muscle. So, and the same thing applies to the family of cereals. But if you combine those two categories of sources, almost in every case, in every combination, you get a pretty good mix of amino acids, because amino acids that are leaking in the one source are contained in plenty amounts in the other source, and vice versa. So if you combine them, it's pretty much perfect. So that's what I do. And now, when I'm telling you this, it may sound a little bit complicated, but in fact it isn't at all, because I'm speaking of combinations that you already know and that you might already eat. Stuff like bread with peanut butter. So you have the bread, which is probably from flour out of wheat, and you have the peanut butter, which is out of peanuts and out of legumes. So, or you have things like a rice dish with some beans, or you have corn with beans, or corn with peas. So if you think of some traditional foods, let's say from Mexico, or like a chili sin carne, yeah, you get the chili sin carne with the beans, and you also have probably some corn in it. So you already have that combination. Or if you take traditional foods from Asia or from India, in many cases you have legumes together with rice. So you have that combination. So it isn't that complicated actually. Just try it out and you should be good. Okay, so in the legumes family, there is one specific case that I want to mention, because it is something that you may already eat a lot, and that I ate a lot when I transitioned into vegan from being vegetarian before, and that was soy. Soy is a legume. And soy is pretty much maybe the only legume, or one of the few legumes, that you even don't have to combine with other sources, because the amino acid profile of soy is balanced, pretty balanced already. So if you have protein sources that are made up from soy, like tofu, or like texturated soy, or tempeh, which is actually a very good choice, because soy also contains some problematic stuff that you can avoid if you process the soy via fermentation. That's what is done with tempeh. So tempeh is basically fermented soy, and in that fermentation process, the problematic stuff gets reduced, and all the good stuff remains in the product. So tempeh is a very good choice to get the best out of soy. And then of course soy milk, especially for me, being a real dairy freak before I transitioned into the vegan lifestyle. Soy milk was one of the foundations of my nutrition in the first months after transitioning, because I basically took out all the dairy stuff and I replaced it with soy milk. In that way, it wasn't really hard to transition, because I had all the protein I had before using the dairy products, and also the soy milk gave me that feeling of drinking milk, still drinking milk. Yeah, so that's it. Now you know a little bit about which protein sources I use. So if you like the video, please subscribe to my channel, because in the next few weeks I'm going to release more of those videos. This was only the first one. In the next one we're going to speak about soy a little bit, and see if all those scary, creepy stories you hear about soy are really true. All those stories about soy being actually an inhibitor of muscle growth and of protein digestion and all that stuff. We are going to speak a little bit about that, and answer the question if you're going to kill yourself eating soy. But we're going to see that in the next edition. So subscribe to my channel if you like the video, and if you want to get more information, I wrote a book. It's called The Rebellion, and it pretty much contains everything that I'm going to tell you in the next few weeks and months in those videos that are going to come, but in a compact way, so you have all that information. And what you already also have in the book is some recipes, So pretty much everything that I eat every day is contained in this book. And I'm going to put a link to my online shop, so you can get the book there if you want to order it. If not, just subscribe to the channel and we'll see you in the next 7 days when the next video comes up. See you.